Hey everybody, I've been asked to do a few more lessons and tutorials on songs, and today I'm going to cover Eric Johnson's SRV, in particular the G3 version. So let's go ahead and get started. If you need to rewind and review any of the licks on your own, feel free to do so. I'll try to condense this and make this the shortest lesson possible. So let's go ahead and get started. So the song starts something like this. Okay, now that slide lick, you just slide the note and then use and you pick the note with the pick, and then you use your fingers to kind of grab the E and B string and pluck them open. So again, that lick is. Okay, now that chord is these notes. The G is muted, and then the B and E strings run open. So you can substitute that chord with this chord, where the B is muted and then the E rings open. So either one of those will work after that progression. So we'll see what we have so far. Okay, something like that. The next part, he starts to riff off very similarly. Slide, then hammer on. Okay, and then after that, he bars here at the 9th, and then puts the pinky on the thick E string on the 12th fret, and then hammers on with the ring and middle finger for this kind of effect. So this is the note he's hammering on with the ring finger, and then the middle finger, you hammer that note on. So it's okay. Okay, so that lick is slides with the ring finger to that note, and then hammer on with the pinky on the 12th fret. So then you just slide these two fingers, slide back and forth, hammer on, pull off. From the G string to the D string. So now you do a string skip here from the A string to the G string. Okay. Okay, so that main ending lick that he uses on most of the verses is this slowed down. Okay, so now that we've gotten the first kind of two clean verses, he changes it up a little bit before he leads into the kind of the soloing parts. Bar here on the 4th fret, all the strings, with your pointer finger. Reach up and grab 1.5 steps from that position on the E string with your ring finger. You should get this note. Okay, and then reach down with your middle finger and grab this note on the G string. And then you're going to hammer on and pull off with the pinky to get this kind of effect. And then lift your middle finger. Okay, so then you get your standard power chord fifth with that as the root. Just hammer pulling off. That chord is now the next part is another fifth. It's almost like hammering on to a fifth chord, where you have this kind of going on. Then you just hammer on with your ring finger. Okay, so you should have this so far. Played the melody simply, but what I do is I flatten my finger down and grab on the D string this note. So while you're playing the melody, just play both strings at the same time and you get this kind of effect. Okay, come down to the 11th fret after that and play this chord, which is on the 11th fret with your middle finger, 11th fret on the G string with your ring finger, and then your pinky grabs the 12th fret on the B string. So it goes top, bottom, middle. So okay, then this chord, which is just kind of a Hendrixy thumb over the top. Grab that octave up. And then with your pointer finger, so muting all the strings in between. Okay, so again, same chord as the first one, just strum this time. Okay. Okay, so next he goes back to the main kind of signature riff of the song, but this time plays this. Now that lick is played by flattening your finger, pointer finger, playing on the 4th fret, playing these two notes. Play them both at the same time, but you hammer on with your your ring finger on the D string to this note. Okay, so you get this kind of thing. With your pinky grabbing that note on the A string, so open A. Okay, so you have this. Then slide into here. Okay, that lick, you just, when you get to this note, roll up and grab it by rolling your hand upwards. So, okay, now you have what's similar to a D major chord shape that you would play like here. You can pretend like your finger would be capoing right here, if you can imagine that in your head. But you don't need the finger to capo here because you have the nut. So you just bring that chord down a whole step and you have this. Okay? So from here, yeah. I apologize. Before you play that shape, you play an A chord, but then you're just going to reach down and grab your pinky on the last B and E strings. So that's the chord. And then it goes back to the regular. Then the progression we already learned earlier. But this time, after that part, he goes down here and slides and hammers on there. So slide, play by playing two notes at the same time, these two notes. And then hammer on with your ring finger on the G string. Pull off. So that's pretty simple. You're just laying your finger and grabbing the two notes on the A and the D string. So the whole lick again. Then back to the. Now when he plays just that regular A power chord, he usually is reaching down to grab the slide, slides it on the ring finger, plays an A chord, I mean an E chord, A, and then slides. Well, you need kind of a distorted tone for that, so let's switch sounds. And okay, so again you have that. That's easily achieved. You just try to mute all the other strings and you play just the A and D strings, and kind of like you can imagine it like you just be sliding it with your finger, but you have a slide. So from around the 7th or 8th fret all the way up to the 12th, and when you get to the 12th, you lose the slide and then play the solo. So the solo section goes similar to this on the G3 version. Just I'm gonna play it slow, note for note, and then you can kind of review it and listen to the song for how it sounds up to tempo. But here's how it's played. Okay, just in that last pentatonic run, you're basically working from this position, your standard E pentatonic. Then you bring it over to the E pentatonic to over here. And then almost to the A position, like the A pentatonic position. Working from here and you end up somewhere down here, and then the riff just ends with the. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the clean sound. He does this moving octave kind of thing, and goes something like this. Is achieved just by playing that note and then almost like a fifth chord, just without that, without the pinky being involved. So you have just kind of a partial fifth chord. And those are the kind of the places that he slides up and down the neck. The only thing you got to remember to do is pull off, hammer on and pull off with your pinky when you get to this position on the way back. So he goes. Okay, then you have the standard. Alright, now the second guitar solo is something like this. It starts right here, but you want to kind of do like a Jeff Beck kind of little half bend when you kind of lean into the notes. So that lick. Okay, that's probably the trickiest lick in the whole song. On the album version, he plays, it seems like he plays an open B note into it, but the live version, I've seen him slide that note. So you can use whichever one you like. They both sound very cool, whichever is easiest for you to play. So. Briefly to talk about the next part where he does these octave chiming bits, the technique you use is you grab the pick with your pointer and thumb and then use your finger to activate the harmonic, okay? Just an example of that. On the 12th, you go up where the 24th fret would be if you had a 24 fret guitar. Achieve that effect, and it takes a little practice and it's kind of hard to learn exactly where the spots are, but through trial and error you can kind of figure it out. But the lick without the harmonic I'll play, and then you can work on the harmonic part, goes like this. Now with the harmonic sounds like this. So again. Okay, and then he goes back to this position. So, typical kind of blues where you half bend and then play the. You can play any kind of like fast pentatonic run there. He plays it a little different each time, but. As long as you end on that note, you're fine. And then the second chiming part that he plays in the solo is in the same area, but he just plays it a little bit differently, climbs a little higher up the neck. So without the harmonic, it sounds like this. Okay, so again. Now with the harmonic, it sounds like this. Alright, and then finally the solo ends with this lick. I'll play it slowly. I'm sorry. Okay, now up to speed sounds something like this, but I don't mess it up. Alright, now that's the second solo completed. And the last little thing I want to mention, he plays, you know, the first part of the lesson again all the way over. That whole... to that part, he ends the song with this progression. chords are your standard kind of thumb over the neck, that we learned earlier. Okay, and you're just going to hammer on with your pinky to get that note. So, hammer on pull off. Then this chord we learned earlier. Then just octave kind of thing. And then that kind of bar D-shaped thing we learned. A chord, E chord. And that is SRV by Eric Johnson. I'm sorry for the lengthy video, but I hope that helps. You can kind of watch it one time through and you don't need multiple videos. So thank you for watching, and if you want any more videos, stay in tune. I'll probably do a couple from like When the Sun Meets the Sky, off Venus Island, maybe a few other songs. So again, thank you for watching.